rural crisis intervention. We all know that in the past, the larger agencies, the agencies with access to a lot of funding, are the ones that created their big crisis intervention programs, like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and these things haven't filtered out to the rural areas because of a whole lot of different issues. One of the issues we run into is just doing a quick needs assessment. So just trying to dial that down into something reasonable that we can think about. In your area, in your county, or your city, wherever you're working, do your law enforcement agencies respond to persons in crisis? Yes or no? Yes, they do. Okay. And then, do persons with mental illness, IDD, autism, Alzheimer's, or dementia live in the area that you serve? If the answer is yes to both of those questions, then you need crisis intervention. Crisis intervention training mostly is probably the most important. We may not be able to develop a crisis intervention team, but just getting the crisis intervention training, educating your law enforcement officials, not just at the bottom, but from the top down. And this is where we've run into, I've been working in the crisis intervention arena for the last 8 years and helping to develop teams and educate law enforcement agencies. And these are some of the issues that we run into, is that the crisis intervention program has to be accepted and enforced from the very top of the administration all the way down to the lowest level officer working night shift patrol with Tuesdays and Thursdays off. Then we get down to the bare bones. This is what all the county commissioners want to hear. How's this going to save us money, right? That's a big issue, isn't it? Some of the crisis intervention programs, folks that have gotten involved with the grant systems, able to get grants to build their teams. I know I was able to get involved with the 1115 waiver and actually got access to a whole bunch of money to develop our team and a big system. Coryell County was able to, or Brazos County was able to get, was it Brazos County or Coryell? Did y'all get that too? Both of them were able to get funding through the 1115 waiver to develop their teams. And that helped out a whole lot in getting it developed. One of the issues we're running into now is the 1115 waiver is over with, and now we've got our the people who control our purse strings having second thoughts about whether they still want a team or not. But saving money is a really big issue, and I've got a lot of figures that we can go over if you want to talk to me later about that. But just the cost savings in doing jail diversions, and the requirement in 1623 of us doing the jail diversions to divert people away from the criminal justice system and get them into treatment is cost saving all in itself. Anybody know how much it costs to book somebody into a jail? Any idea? The national average is about $3,000 just to book somebody in. And that's because of all the people they have to touch coming into the jail, from the booking to the fingerprinting, the photography, the classification. Once you get past that part, then you have the engagement of all the other, your public defender's office, or they have to be appointed an attorney. The judge is doing the magistration, everybody involved in that. And it doesn't matter if you get booked in for a public intoxication or capital murder, it costs the same. So just being able to show that cost saving is a big deal. When we started looking at how long our folks that suffer with mental illness stay in our jail, the average at our jail was 38 days at a cost of $125 a day. Well, in our first year of making this happen, we did 200 jail diversions. Just 10 people working the crisis intervention team did 200 jail diversions. If you look at the average 38 days at $125 a day, that's almost $1 million that we were able to save the county just by doing the jail diversions. And this was actually before 1623 came into effect. So we're able to show those cost savings. And these are the really big things for the people who control your purse strings, of making things happen and being able to show where you're saving money. That's not the, that's the other side of the equation. All week long we've been talking, or for the last couple of days, we've been talking about the humane interest in doing the crisis intervention, in developing these systems to get people into services and avoid incarceration. But there's folks out there who want to know the other side of it. And that's how you push that, you push that point across, saving taxpayer dollars. So some of the challenges for rural crisis intervention is your limited resources. We all agree on that. We don't have everything in place. Well, all we have to do is start. We have to start with what we have. And what we do have already is in your law enforcement agencies, you have people there already, 2 minutes, who actually care about the community that they serve. Those are the folks we want to recruit. We want to get them into the crisis intervention training and make things happen with them. So we also have issues with our manpower and staffing, transportation of facilities. What about equipment? What kind of equipment do we have to have? Well, we got a uniform and we got a patrol car. That's really all we need, right? And then we get the training. Now we can get set up. Sometimes we have problems with training opportunities. And then hospitals in our facilities. The biggest argument or the biggest problem, the kickback I get from law enforcement agencies is saying we don't have time to deal with these folks that suffer with mental illness. We don't have time to get them to the facilities. Well, that's a mindset. That's all it is. We have the time. Because if we don't take the time, we're going to keep going to that call time and time again until we have to incarcerate someone. And then we have all these other factors that come into effect. We have the time to make that happen. So trying to make it work, I know the PowerPoint's not working, but if you can pull it up, I put a couple websites up for a low-cost or no-cost training. The Justice Center, the Council of State Governments offers access to the 4001 Mental Health Peace Officer Certification. You get on their website, you can apply for it. They send folks out to you if you can put enough people in a classroom to make that happen. Also, the Texas Municipal Police Officer Association offers the 1850 course and the 4001 course, the Mental Health Peace Officer Certification, and now the required 1850 course at about $100 a head. So again, you have to fill a classroom and they'll bring that training to you. Things that we've talked about already is identifying all your local resources. You'd be surprised what you have available in your counties. I know I spent 18 years of my career putting people in jail, trying to fill the jail up, and had no idea we had a Department of Social Services that actually helped people. They had vouchers for food. They were able to assist people with their housing problems. They had a whole host of things they could help folks with. But working out there on the streets, we go to a lot of disturbance calls, and the reason for the argument that happened that night is because they didn't have food or they weren't able to pay their bills. And all this time, I had no idea that if I could, as a lowest level patrol officer out there, connect these people with resources, I could solve a lot of my own problems with having to go to these calls for service. So when we're looking at the agencies that have done a really good job out there, I've got a couple, Burnett County's, Cole Reeser with Burnett County has done a great job out there. Brazos County's done a good job. One of the best things that they've done is developed a crisis intervention network. They engaged all their local law enforcement agencies in the county, and even in the counties where where you have multiple counties in the local mental health authority, getting all those folks together to have meetings at least once a month and talk about the people who they're serving, who keep hitting their radar. That's one of the biggest things that we can do with crisis intervention is develop that crisis intervention network. And the last thing, what I'll leave you with is we need champions. I've seen in county after county places that have had their crisis intervention team set up. They've, for whatever reason, their champion has been lost or has no longer has moved on to another place, and those systems are starting to fail. Everybody in this room came to this summit for a reason, because you believe in the crisis intervention, you believe in developing these systems, and it's up to you to take this back to wherever you're from and be that champion. Be that person who changes the culture of law enforcement. Give folks permission to actually care about who they serve, because we're all public servants here, is that correct? Sometimes just giving folks that permission, that empowering them to actually care about who they serve makes the biggest difference. And that has to start with somebody in your community. It has to start with you. the judiciary that's out here. Where are you guys at? You guys have an incredible influence in wherever you're from, whatever county, whatever location you're working. You have influence with the law enforcement agencies, with the other judges, with your local mental health authority. Use that. But be that champion. Don't turn a blind eye to it and let things pass. Be the person that makes that difference. Because that's what's going to carry us through. It's been an honor to be able to come up here and speak to you today. If you have any questions, my time is up, but they've got my contact information out there, so feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I'll put some flyers out on everybody's table. The Texas CIT Association is having its annual conference in April in Amarillo, Texas. One of the errors that I made is I didn't get our website on the flyer. Sorry about that, but it's texascit.org. So again, if you have any questions, you can hit me up. I'll be around the rest of the day, or send me an email or give me a call. So thank you very much for your time.